Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Motorcycle Rescue and Review. Today I'm super stoked to be introducing the newest addition to the stable here. This is a 2018 Suzuki GSX-S750. And this bike is based on the engine that is found in Suzuki's legendary GSX-R750. But what they did was detuned it, made it more streetable and appropriate for street use, and they put it in an upright, comfortable chassis. They gave it great street fighter, hooligan looks, and it really is an aggressive looking bike. I really like the way it looks in this black and blue paint scheme, and this bike has some really nice features. It's got the Yoshimura pipe on it. It also has some frame sliders, and this bike comes standard with traction control, and that's really nice, especially if you get caught in the rain. It does have sporting rubber on it, sporting tires, so it's nice to have a little bit of extra safety, a margin of safety when you get into rain, or if you're really riding hard, the traction control can save your bacon. And this bike actually has a 4-mode traction control, everything from traction control off to, then it has settings 1, 2, and 3, which they basically are kind of dictating where the traction control kicks in. Anywhere from like race mode, if you still want to be on a racetrack and do a track day, but still have the safety feature of the traction control, you can set it so it's very minimally intrusive. Or if you're, like I said, if you get caught in the rain and you really want that traction control to kick in as soon as you lose traction to that rear tire, you can set it as such. It has adjustable suspension in the front, and it also has adjustable suspension in the rear. And I'll go ahead and fire it up here. We'll take a quick listen to it while it's sitting here, and then I'm going to go for a ride and give you kind of my thoughts on it while I'm riding it, and a quick review, and we'll come back here and wrap up. All right. And this bike only has 3,730 miles on it. I just picked it up, so I will be doing a how-to video on how to service it. In another video, I'm also going to be comparing this bike to Suzuki's own 1982 GS750E. And this bike is really the descendant of that bike. And they're both really designed to the same standard, and they were meant to be universal Japanese motorcycles, a bike that really you can get on and do anything well. So I think it'll be interesting to compare this bike 2018 model to Suzuki's own 1982 model and just go over some of the differences and similarities between the two machines. All right, I hope you enjoy. Let's go for a ride. That is nice. All right. I am on Suzuki's 2018 GSX-S750, and it's got this bike has a Yoshimura slip-on exhaust on it. Sounds really nice. And this bike is really, as somebody who loves the UJM, the Universal Japanese Motorcycle, I am so glad to see this current crop of UJMs coming out. And this bike goes pretty much head-to-head with Kawasaki's Z650 and Yamaha's FZ07, and even Honda has their CB650. And these bikes all are competing in this UJM market, and it's really, they're designed similarly. They've got an open, easygoing seating position that's comfortable in the twisties and also comfortable really for some long distance riding. And this bike is kind of what sets it apart from some of the other bikes in class. This bike actually has a
4-cylinder motor, and it actually has a little bit more performance on tap than, say, a Z650 or an FZ07, and even Honda's CB650. This is kind of the performance king of the class. It also has a little bit tighter suspension and refinement. It's got excellent brakes. This motor was actually sourced from the GSX-S750, and it's really retuned for street use and very compliant. That's a third gear. I probably should have been in second, but this engine just pulls really strongly and smoothly. The Yoshimura exhaust is really nice. It gives it a nice tone without being obnoxious. I like to be able to hear the bike. I love the sound of a 4-cylinder with a pipe, but it's also nice to be a little bit respectful of other people. You don't necessarily want the noise of a full exhaust system. Some of the 600s and 750s can be pretty much obnoxious depending on what exhaust they have. Much like Suzuki's original GS750, the GSX-S750 is just an easy driving machine. It really has all the performance you'll ever want on a street bike. And you can, if you really need that 1000cc machine, you can get it, but I think most people would be happier in the long run just with the 750. And one, it's just very, very nimble, and it's not abrupt at all on and off throttle. It's got really nice linear power delivery, and that makes it just so easy to ride. And I would say the Yamaha products, the FZ07, FZ09, are really known for how abrupt they are on and off throttle. And while that gives it kind of an edgy feel to it and makes them feel fast, really, in reality, smooth is fast. And so if you have a bike that's easy to control, you're actually going to be able to go quicker on that than you are something that's abrupt, especially on and off throttle. Yeah, this bike really does have nice pickup. There's very little, when you actually look out over the dash, it's very, very low. I'm not even sure if it's showing up in the video here. I'm going to kind of lean down and try to get a little bit of the dash, but it's just very minimal area in front of you. You really don't feel like there's just not a whole lot of bike that's in your peripheral vision while you're riding. I would say for long haul comfort, you probably want to change the seat out. This seat isn't bad, but it's certainly, I think, I would start to poke through it after not too long. We got something in the road up here. It's a fox. Cool, fox sitting in the road. It's a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania, southern Pennsylvania, and the trees are just gorgeous down through here. Perfect day to be out riding. Yeah, and this bike is just so easy, responds very, very nicely. Excellent brakes, easy in the corners. And I'm cruising along right now at essentially highway speeds, and it's just very minimal vibration. Yeah, this is a bike that, you know, if you were a beginner and had at least a little bit of maybe dirt bike riding experience or some motorcycle experience, and even if you didn't, it's not super intimidating, like I say, because it's easy on the throttle. It really is friendly and forgiving. Again, the handling is nice, the brakes are excellent, the suspension is well controlled. And so even a beginner, you know, could ride this bike with some confidence. And the nice thing is, you know, I've been riding for a lot of years, and this bike really has enough straight line performance to keep most people happy. It really is a quick bike, and it's got, you know, plenty of speed. And it's really nice to ride a bike like this that has a lot of capability, but it doesn't pressure you to use it all the time. If you wanted to go for a ride and man, you can just go for a ride with them and be perfectly happy. This bike isn't gonna leave you uncomfortable and folded up like a pretzel and angry if you're not going, you know, double the speed limit like a Super Sport would. But if you want to ride with your buddies with the Super Sports, you can certainly keep up. And honestly, on a tighter back road and the twisties, this bike will acquit itself very well. And if you know how to ride it, you'll be able to surprise a lot of guys on sport bikes. In 2018, they bumped up the horsepower on this bike to the tune of about 10 horsepower. And the first time I rode this, now I've owned and ridden a 2015 GSX-S750, and I enjoyed that bike. But the first thing I noticed when I rode this one, I didn't think they'd really made any changes to it. But as soon as I rode it, I could just tell that increase in horsepower really is evident, and it really kind of shows itself beyond 5,000 RPM. It just really seems to kick in nicely.
So there you have it. Suzuki's 2018 GSX-S750 is a great all-around motorcycle. It's a kind of bike that you can do anything from a track day on to light-duty touring. This bike would really excel in areas like commuting and just daily transport, but really it's more than just a basic bike. It's a really nice machine. If you're a newer rider, a bike like this actually will grow with you. It will, as your capabilities increase, you'll be able to exploit more and more of the bike's potential. And really, this machine has what I think is best-in-class suspension. It also has really good brakes, best-in-class engine performance, and really, it's a well-refined, really well-put-together quality package. A really nice bike. And it's got enough performance that you're not going to outgrow this bike within a season. And even if you're an older rider looking kind of to get back into the sport, this is a really friendly, nice place to start. And it just gives you, again, it gives you room to grow. It's a bike that you can be, you know, if you have one bike in the garage, man, this is a fantastic one to have because it does everything pretty well. This bike, you know, even among the competition that it has today in the FZ07 and the CB650 and the Z650 from Kawasaki, it really stands out in those bikes. You know, the 4-cylinder motor, either you like this or you know, if you prefer a twin, you know, the Kawasaki or the Yamaha is really, either one of those bikes is also a good choice, or even Suzuki's, 650 SV, but this bike has more performance than those bikes do. So I really impressed with it, and just think it's a fantastic machine. All right, hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.